Hello, this is Gramsy. I am going to read a story about the 5 Chinese brothers by Claire Bishop and Kurt Weiss. Here's a little picture of it. Can you see it? Can you see it? Sorry, I put it over there. There they are. All 5 Chinese brothers. You can find this at your library. If you enjoy it, you can go there and read it there. Or have somebody read it to you. Or just look at the pictures. Or look at another book. It's fun at the library. Anyway, let me tell you the story. Once upon a time, there were 5 Chinese brothers, and they all looked exactly alike. Yeah, what is that called? I know when there's 2, it's twins, and when there's 3, it's triplets, quadruplets. What is it when it's 5? Okay, they lived with their mother in a little house not far from the sea. I guess in China. The first Chinese brother could swallow the sea. The second Chinese brother had an iron neck, like metal. The third Chinese brother could stretch his legs. The fourth Chinese brother could not be burned. Wow, that's pretty cool. And the fifth Chinese brother could hold his breath indefinitely. That means like forever. So, okay. Every morning, the first Chinese brother would go fishing, and whatever the weather, he would come back to the village with a beautiful and rare fish, which he had caught, and could sell at the market, which is the store, for a very good price. Lots of money. One day, as he was leaving the marketplace, that's like the shopping center, a little boy stopped him and asked if he could go fishing with him. No, it could not be done, said the first Chinese brother. But the little boy... Oh, I'm sorry, I lost my place. And you know, that's going to happen to you too sometimes, and it's okay. You just keep looking till you find it again. Okay. But the little boy begged, and finally the first Chinese brother consented. Under one condition, he said, and that is that you shall obey me promptly, which means right away. If I say jump, you jump, and you jump right now. I wonder why, huh? Yes, the little boy promised. So he made him a promise, right? The next morning, the first Chinese brother and the little boy went down to the beach. Remember, said the first Chinese brother, you must obey me promptly. When I make a sign for you to come back, you must come at once. Oh, yes, said the little boy. He promised. Okay, the first Chinese brother swallowed the sea. Holy moly, he swallowed the sea. Here's a little picture. Well, it's a big picture. See him swallowing the sea. I don't think that's possible, do you? Wait a minute, losing my headset here. And all the fish were left high and dry at the bottom of the sea, and all the treasures of the sea lay uncovered. The little boy was delighted. He ran here and there, stuffing his pockets with strange pebbles, extraordinary shells, and fantastic algae. And look at that funny picture of the Chinese boy. The Chinese boy, see him with his mouth full like that? That's the whole sea. So what happens? Near the shore, the first Chinese brother gathered some fish while he kept holding the sea. Near the shore, the first Chinese brother gathered some fish while he kept holding the sea in his mouth. Presently, he grew tired. It is very hard to hold the sea, so he made a sign with his hand for the little boy to come back. The little boy saw him, but paid no attention. Oh no, look, he's struggling to hold back the sea. It's really hard. It's really, really hard. That's a lot of water. And look at him. Ugh, he just can't take it. The first Chinese brother made great movements with his arms that meant, come back. But the little boy cared? Not a bit, and he ran further away. Then the first Chinese brother felt the sea swelling inside him, and he made desperate gestures to call the little boy back. But the little boy made faces at him and fled as fast as he could. This is not going to be good. I can see it coming. All right, what does it say? Open the page. Uh-oh. The first Chinese brother held the sea until he thought he was going to burst. All of a sudden, the sea forced its way out of his mouth and went to its bed. And the little boy disappeared. There he is. He tried so hard, but he couldn't hold it back. And he had to spit it back into the ocean. When the first Chinese brother returned to the village alone, he was arrested and put in prison, tried and condemned to have his head cut off. On the morning of the execution, he said to the judge, Your Honor, will you allow me to go and bid my mother goodbye? It is only fair, said the judge. So the first Chinese brother went home, and the second Chinese brother came back in his place. Now, what do you think this Chinese brother, what was his superpower? Do you remember? I think I know. Now, all the people were assembled in the village to witness the execution. The executioner took his sword and struck a mighty blow. Ugh. But the second Chinese brother just got up and smiled. Why do you think he did that? Do you remember why? He was the one with the iron neck, and they simply could not cut his head off. Everybody was angry, and they decided that he should be drowned. On the morning of the execution, the second Chinese brother said to the judge, Your Honor, will you allow me to go home and bid my mother goodbye? It is only fair, said the judge. So the second Chinese brother went home, and the third Chinese brother came back to his place. They was going to drown him. Who do you think they sent this time? He was pushed on a boat, which made for the open sea. So they pushed him out on the boat, and when they got far out in the ocean, they threw him in. Look at that. They threw him in the... Oh, can you see? If they look at that. These men took him out there, and they tried to drown him. They threw him in the ocean. But he's smiling, isn't he? So what happens? But he began to stretch and stretch and stretch. Look at those legs. Wow. He stretched his legs and stretched his legs. Way down to the bottom of the sea. Way down to the bottom of the sea. And all the time his smiling face was bobbing up and down on the crest of the waves. He simply could not be drowned, could he? Can you see him? He's smiling. They never saw him go down, right? Everybody was very angry, and they all decided that he should be burned. On the morning of the execution, the third Chinese brother said to the judge, Your Honor, will you allow me to go and bid my mother goodbye? It is only fair, said the judge. I hope this is a different judge. He hasn't learned his lesson by now. So the third Chinese brother went home, and the fourth Chinese brother came back in his place. He was tied up to a stake. Fire was set to it, and all the people stood round watching. In the midst of the flames, they heard him say, This is quite pleasant. Bring some more wood. Do you see the picture, guys? There he is, smiling away. Everybody's looking at him. And he's, Bring more wood. This is nice. Now it is quite comfortable, said the fourth Chinese brother, for he was the one who could not be burned. Everybody was getting more and more angry every minute, and they all decided to smother him. Now, you know, the little boy died while he was in his care. Was that his fault? It was an accident, wasn't it? And why did the little boy die? Because the little boy did not listen. When your mother, your father, or somebody who's watching you, if they tell you to come, that's why it's so important. You don't know. You don't see what they're saying. There could be a car coming. There could be an elephant about to stomp on your head. There could be a wicked villain swooping down from the sky. You don't know. But the person watching you sees the danger, and they want you to act fast. So it was the little boy's fault. What do you think about him sending his different brothers in instead of him? Well, let's see what happens, okay? So what do you think happened? They sent him in to be smothered. So he said, Can I go home and say goodbye to my mom? And he said, Well, of course, it's only fair, right? And so the fourth Chinese brother went home, and the fifth Chinese brother came back. A large brick oven has been built in the village square, and it had been stuffed with whipped cream. Ooh, I'd eat my way out of there. The fifth Chinese brother was shoveled into the oven right in the middle of the cream, and the door was shut tight, and everybody sat around and waited. But there he is. See him? They're shoving him into an oven. But the oven's not filled with smoke. It looks like smoke, but it's whipped cream. Next one. See, they're looking. Oh, they're watching. There's the oven. Whoops, wait, this way. Sorry. There you go, this way. There's the oven. They were not going to be tricked again, so they stayed there all night and even a little after dawn, just to make sure. Then they opened the door and pulled him out. And he shook himself and said, My, that was a good sleep. Everybody stared open-mouthed and round-eyed. But the judge stepped forward and said, We have tried to get rid of you in every possible way, and somehow it cannot be done. It must be that you are innocent." "Yes, yes," shouted all the people. So they let him go, and he went home. Let's see, can we have a picture of him home? Oh, there they are, with their mommy. See, with the mommy. I'm trying to get you so you can see. Well, I'm in some trouble. There. Wrong page. There they are, with their mommy. Okay, and the 5 Chinese brothers and their mother all lived happily together for many, many years. And the story, the lesson here, guys, is just listen. If you make a promise, keep it. When your parents ask you to do something, there's a reason. You may not know what it is. You may want to do something else. But there's a reason, right? All right, then. Have a good night. Bye-bye.